Hey guys, my name's Heyjinx or DOS, and you're watching Over Overwatch. So far we've covered a few futuristic heroes. Today we're going to switch our focus to a man of ancient traditions, Hanzo Shimada. Hanzo reigns from the legendary bloodline of an imperial clan of assassins known as the Shimada family. He wasn't just born into this company, he was born to lead it. Hanzo was the successor to the crown, and through his upbringing was groomed to rule. Upon his father's death, Hanzo took on a plethora of responsibilities, one of which was to whip his younger brother into shape. This was to ensure the continuation of the Shimada lineage. Unfortunately, his brother rejected Hanzo's help and refused to cooperate. This was when Hanzo was forced to murder his brother. The aftermath festered and putrefied inside Hanzo's heart, leading him to despise everything he was raised to become. He gave up his throne and abandoned all the ideals he once cherished. The duration of Hanzo's days are spent traveling and improving his hand in combat, in hopes that someday he might settle with his past. This grim tale is one of the darker stories in Overwatch, but enough sulking. Let's see how all those years of training paid off in the battlefield. Hanzo utilizes a mighty storm bow. If used properly, this bow is extremely deadly and can hit from fair range. A fully charged headshot will insta-kill most heroes. The bow is intended for a higher skilled player, as the crosshair is pretty small. Additionally, his arrows arc, just as they would in the real world. The bow is best used fully drawn and does high damage. There's no clip, as the bow must be drawn for every arrow shot. Another important note, all of his spells rely on an arrow being shot except his ultimate. These arrows can be a bit tricky to time sometimes, and that's why Hanzo's shift allows the Battlemaster to see heroes through walls in a small radius. Sonic Arrow is the name of the skill, and it's extremely powerful for a skilled marksman. As opposing players turn corners, Hanzo will see them as a red overlay. The minute the hero is in line of sight, the overlay will disappear. Sonic Arrow acts the same as Widowmaker's ultimate, but on a smaller scale. Sonic Arrow should be used wisely, as it has a 20-second cooldown. Scatter Arrow is Hanzo's E, and it's one of his strongest abilities. Once the skill is initiated, Hanzo's next arrow will blossom into a barrage of arrows after its first contact. This ability can be used against heroes to inflict heavy damage, or it can be shot at a wall to trigger the rapid-fire volley. Though it has a 10-second cooldown, this ability should be used excessively. It is best used against weaker heroes, as it will most likely one-shot them. In addition to the normal Shift EQ keybinds, Hanzo also has a spacebar ability. The skill is simply named Wall Climb. A note of this while playing would have been super helpful, as I didn't realize he could scale walls until the end of my playtime. I'm pretty sure there has to be a plateau at the top for Hanzo to successfully climb. If not, the action should be cancelled, but we're not quite sure at the moment. Finally, let's take a peek at Dragon Strike, Hanzo's ultimate. His Q is extremely impressive, and though it seems overpowered, it isn't up as much as other heroes' ultimates. It's aesthetically beautiful and overwhelming, and in my opinion, the coolest animation in the game. Dragon Strike does an unthinkable amount of damage and travels through all walls. It also avoids shields. I'm not sure if the damage is so high that it eliminates a shield or if it just passes through. Either way, shielding won't stop this dragon. The spell is great for clearing the entire enemy team of a capture point. And yes, that means tanks too. Hanzo is a mid to long range sniper. His bow handling expertise brings the strongest heroes to their knees, and he doesn't plan on changing that. I enjoy climbing onto a wall with my space, seeking out my targets with my shift, clearing out the room with my E, and using my Q to clean up the leftovers. Hanzo does fantastic from afar, and if his E is up, shouldn't have any problems with the 1v1. His arrows are strong, but remember that he's lacking in an important department: mobility. His space is a helpful ability, but it isn't going to save him from the clutches of a Reaper or a Tracer. I had a huge problem with Winston and Reinhardt. Their constant and aggressive playstyle never allowed me to get my arrows out. Hanzo doesn't do well when fighting most heroes on his own, but if he sits in the trees and snipes his opponents, he may be one of the strongest heroes. Don't allow yourself to be in the thick of battle. You will lose. His counter list is generally anyone with an engage. Though lower health champions have lesser chance of survival with this bad boy, they still should have the upper hand when fighting face to face. Anyway, that's Hanzo in a nutshell. We hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you, and please subscribe.